And I took Chem 101 and I was like, I can't. This is not for me.
Dude, it was Bio 101 for me.
We weren't meant to be doctors.
No.
안녕하세요. Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Tae.
And this is Gibson. And welcome back to the fourth episode of
Almost Korean.
All right. What are we talking about today, Tae?
All right. Today, we're going to be talking a little bit about our education, academics.
I think that's where we're actually not almost Korean. but I'm okay. I'm okay.
You weren't
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Asian boy getting good grades?
Sure. Yeah. Let's dive into that a little bit. Both of us, right? We've lived in the stateside.
Mm-hmm.
We live in Korea. So mine has been a bit of a roller coaster.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in New York and lived there till I was 7 until my parents decided to move to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
So up until that point, I was maybe halfway through first grade. So I was speaking English. I was starting to learn. And of course, when I moved to Korea, I had to learn Korean.
Right.
So it was a bit of a challenge, but I was still young enough that I caught up relatively quickly. And my mom really emphasized education, so I caught on pretty fast, which was good for me. Now, when I moved back to the stateside, I had forgotten most of my English.
So how old were you when you came back?
15.
15.
Mm-hmm.
So you were, what, 11th grade?
I was supposed to go to sophomore year, but, the school thought that it's probably better for me to repeat 9th grade in order to have enough time to catch up, learn the language again, and then SAT, all that stuff, which, at that time, I thought of it as a big deal, but looking back at it, who cares, right?
Yeah.
So I got acclimated back in. I did okay enough, and I caught up fast enough that I got into Rutgers, which is a good, state university. And also on top of that, at that time, my family was also very, very much in a big financial hardship.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't really have much an option when it came to private school versus public school. So that was a perfect choice.
Mm-hmm.
So I did okay. But to be honest, when I came back to the stateside, being 15 and trying to acclimate into the stateside at a very sensitive age, if you will, as a teenager during the adolescent time,
tough time.
It was tough for me. You could say that I was like kind of an outsider. Didn't really have a lot of close friends. I didn't really get to have cliques or anything like that because I didn't have any to connect back to elementary school, middle school.
Right.
So that was tough. College came, and I was like, you know what? I need to have a fresh start in my life. I need to experience everything that I see in all these Hollywood movies because they make high school look so fun, but I didn't get a chance to do any of that. So studying was kind of secondary priority, if you will. So I got by. I did okay, but I would say grade was not necessarily stellar during college. So that kind of sums up until about college. What about you?
So for me, I was born in Korea and I moved to the States when I was 10. Mm-hmm. So 4th grade, I had a similar situation when I moved. I was almost done with 4th grade, but I had to start over in 4th grade. They wanted me to kind of learn English before I start middle school. Mm-hmm. So took a little time to acclimate. I wouldn't say I was very studious, but I got my work done. So middle school was for me. Middle school was that awkward year where I'm hitting puberty.
Yep.
I know enough English to get by, but I'm still fobby. My friends are always kind of making fun of my English and accent, and all that stuff, right? And then in high school, I would say is where I bloomed in a sense. I had a good high school years. I had a good group of friends.
Lucky. Jealous.
Yeah, so for me, you said roller coaster. Mine was probably more like a steady climb. I had some straight A's, some semesters, but my English was always tough for me.
Okay.
Even SATs, we're probably dating ourselves, but back. Well, I don't know what the score system's now, but back then it was 6 out of 1600.
I think it's out of 2400 now, isn't it?
I heard they changed back to 1600 recently, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
But yeah, my math was in the 700s. Mm-hmm. My English verbal, I couldn't get past 500 something. So,
okay.
I had a okay SAT grade.
Yeah.
So again, with you, similar situation. My parents weren't financially very well off. We're immigrant families. So I only signed up for 2 state school, which was University of Maryland at College Park and at Baltimore County. College Park is the flagship. So I got into that school, and that's where I attended. And in college, yeah, I had my share of fun in high school, but in college it was like a different level. So
Yeah,
I actually joined the Asian fraternity that which we have common in.
that's right.
We'll probably get more into that. That's a separate topic, separate episode. But joining the fraternity didn't help with my grade too much.
Well, it's funny you say that because, like, I think pledging was the one semester where I actually did well, and then
Really?
after that, after that, it just went. Woo. But anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
I don't mean to like.
During pledging is when I had the worst grades. So that actually made me switch my not career, my major, because initially I was like, oh, I want to try to get into pre-med and
Get out.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, I think I want to be like a doctor or
That
like a
sounds so
pediatrician.
Korean to me.
I think also it's my mentality was to like appease my maybe parents who work so hard to immigrate to the U.S. But
I can relate to that.
And then I took Chem 101, and I was like, I can't. This is not for me.
Dude, it was Bio 101 for me.
We weren't meant to be doctors.
No.
But yeah, I think it's just, and then people scare me with like, oh, the orgo is so much harder, and like,
oh my God,
all that, like the higher level, like science classes.
I haven't heard that in so long. Yes.
So I was like, I should stop right here. And then so I just finished my core classes for the first 2 years, and then I was like, what am I good at? I guess I'm okay at math. Even calculus was kind of too hard for me. So like engineering was kind of out of the question.
Yes.
So I chose business. I got into our business school and did accounting, which at that time was like a very safe, like stable. They're like, oh, they have a new accounting law that they implemented, which is Sarbanes-Oxley, back in 2002. So they were like, that's a safe career. So I did accounting, and I'm like that very stereotypical Asian CPA guy. That's me.
That's funny.
Yeah,
it's funny you said pre-med because like that's what I wanted to do too. I thought like half like I feel like that's a route where I can make good money and have a stable career for myself down the road. And the other half was like, oh yeah, I also want to make my parents proud and things like that. I do remember getting a D in Bio 101. Yes, I do remember. And I think I ended up like, pulling out of one of the other core classes, and I was like, yeah, no, this is for me. And then I went into economics because I thought business was a safe route to go, but I didn't want to kind of pigeonhole into like, accounting or like a very specific detailed part of I guess business.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, economics sounds like a pretty broad enough that I feel like I have some choice to go into something else later on. So that's what I did. I still didn't do well. So yeah. But I guess on the other side, I left college with a lot of good memories in terms of extracurricular activities. So
what else did you do? College.
So obviously Pi Delta Psi, which is the fraternity that both Tae and I were part of, that was a big part of it. And then obviously that opened the doors to a lot more social life, right? Because like the fraternity life kept me busy enough. At one point, I lived in the fraternity house off campus. And I think one of the semester I served as a vice president too. So that was fun. Like I had a lot of fun doing that. It definitely elevated my experience living in America a lot more compared to how high school was. So I almost thought of it as like making up my time. And obviously no one cares, but it's something like I internally place on myself. Like, no, I need to make up for the lost time in high school. And then by then, my mom was so busy with her business. She never even asked her grades. Like the time where she asked grade, that was gone. Like that was not happening anymore. Yeah. So I think I relaxed even more because of that. I didn't have the pressure to report back to my mom.
Accountability or like
Correct.
oversight.
Correct. And then I wanted to focus on like, that's also when I started working out. So, and I got very consistent with it. So I was like, I wanted to keep up with that. I wanted to like work, have some, money coming in. Yeah. And I wanted to have a good social life. So all these other stuff just kind of took over my
became
life.
like you had other priorities.
Correct.
Like college, like obviously we go to college for education, but
Of course.
you had different priorities that you wanted to pursue.
Absolutely. But I kind of look back at it, and could I have had a better academic life if I wasn't pursuing so many other things? Of course. But at the same time, I think all those different stuff let me shape who I am today, because I had a chance to like really grow as a person.
So, did you join the army right out of college, or
I did not. Army was actually an afterthought. In fact, Army was never, something I even wanted to pursue. However, now that you brought that up, I do have a funny story about the Army.
because a lot of people join JROTC or ROTC before, right?
And guess what? I actually did join the ROTC.
Oh, did you?
For one day.
Wait, in college?
Yes. So this actually brings back a lot of memories. So I said, my parents were struggling. As a matter of fact, it was just my mom, because my parents were separated, and she's raising us as a single mom. And so we thought of ROTC as a great way to kind of like save tuition costs, right? So I signed up. What I didn't realize is how much crap I was going to get issued, right? So day one, I go in and I just get this tons of stuff that I have to carry. And first year, we didn't have the money to afford dorm life. So I was commuting. And since all the campus, the way the campus is built is like, when you have a dorm room, you just bring your stuff there. You don't carry the stuff around, but I have no way to do that. So I was carrying this from class to class. One time, Rutgers campus is huge, by the way.
Like stuff from ROTC.
Yep. I had this giant duffel bag and another green book bag.
Oh my god.
And I was carrying that from class to class. And then this like first week of the semester, I walked into class that had already started 10 minutes ago, sweating everywhere.
You were like pledging.
Yes. And I was like drenched. And I'm like going in with this giant bag, and the entire lecture hall turned around and looked at me. Dude, I was so embarrassed. I was like, I can't. What am I going to do? Like, where am I going to put this? And then I literally quit the next day.
Wow.
Little did I know I was going to join the military 3 years down the road. Well, after graduating 3 years.
Dude, we have there's no wonder we clicked right away because again, our family situation, right? I was thinking about tuition and all of that too. So I actually looked into joining the Naval Academy.
No way.
Because I had a young, like an older guy I knew who was in it. So I was like, oh, maybe I can do that because they give you free tuition and all of that. But even like I stopped at the application process because there was a lot. You have to like write a letter to like the senator, like requesting.
That is true.
And like you have to like get approved. My SAT score wasn't like that high.
Same thing with West Point, and they're like very competitive.
Yeah, super like at least I'm in that area where all of those places are nearby. So I considered it, but
that makes sense.
But I didn't even it didn't even take off.
Oh,
yeah. So I was like overwhelmed. I didn't know what to do. So
gotcha.
I ended up going to our state school, which in hindsight, which was great because all my friends went there. I had a lot of memories there, but.
Absolutely.
That's so funny. Similar stories.
Fast forward a little bit later, and my GPA wasn't stellar by any means. I needed to get some sort of job. I ended up getting into some retail management training program through Chase Bank. What I didn't realize is like this is 2008, the recession, all that. This was a tough time, right?
Yeah.
Now, luckily, I got the job, but the thing is, I hated the job. Like I could not stand it, and I always thought banking industry as a customer service oriented industry. I don't know when it exactly changed, but apparently by the time I came in, the banking industry was shifting more towards sales focused aspect. So they really wanted to like push sales pitch, practicing how to sell more stuff. And I was just so not good at it. And I absolutely hated everything about it. So I stuck around about a year and a half or so. And I said, you know what? I can't. I need to be able to do something that's more enjoyable. And training, lifting is something I kind of continued throughout college, and I was like getting more and more into it. I never like stopped. So I was like, you know what? While I figure my life out, why don't I do that? So I actually ended up becoming a personal trainer. At Equinox
You
Gym
know what?
in New
I
York
was
City.
always curious if you ever did that.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. I
Okay.
did. I did it for a year and a half. And as a matter of fact, the guy that got me the job in the city was another Untitled brother.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yep, he was also from Rutgers, and he was already a trainer there. He's like, Gibson, I can hook you up, man. And then he put in a good word for me.
Nice.
I got the job after getting a decent interview. So I did that, but I quickly realized it's just not long term career wise. I've never been like I've never had the entrepreneurship like spirit. It wasn't something like that worked well with me. So I always look for a stable career where I can steadily build and have a consistent income. So at some point I started thinking, you know what, this is not sustainable. So I started looking to federal government jobs, and Army was still actually not on my radar.
Wait, before we talk about
Yeah.
Army, for as a physical trainer, I always thought you just kind of work under like at a gym and then the clients just come, but I guess that's not really the case. You have to kind of network and get your own client.
So like there's like two ways to do it. One is when new members sign up, the gym kind of pairs you up with a personal trainer to do an assessment. But the assessment is like it can be looked at as a service to the customer, but it's an opportunity for trainers to sell a training package. So at the end of the day, there's still selling aspects involved with it. And if you're not training clients, your income potential is very limited.
I see.
Yeah. So because of that, it's very bonus heavy.
Gotcha.
So
is there still very much sales aspect?
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I think I don't want to sound like I'm like easily giving up all these stuff, but one thing I realized is like, hey, even if I enjoy it, if that enjoyment becomes a job and that job adds stress, it was no longer enjoyable. And then I started seeking like, something more stable. And that's when like some federal employment job looked very enticing to me. But I still wanted to be in something that I'm physically active.
Yeah.
So like FBI field agents or NYPD. As a matter of fact, my number one choice at the time was a federal air marshal.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So after the 9/11, the Bush administration at the time, they really pushed for the air marshal program to like take off because they wanted to make sure the security for planes were like very puffed up. And basically, air marshal, you're cop on the plane, right? So to me, as a young 20-something-year-old guy traveling all over the world, and then the only time you're on duty is on a plane, that sounded so cool to me, adventurous to me. So I was like, oh man, this sounds awesome. Unfortunately, they were on a permanent hiring freeze. And that's when I started looking outside of it, and NYPD and Army became like my two top choices.
Okay.
Army fortunately worked out faster, and that's the only reason why I ended up going that route. But looking back at it, the best decision I ever made. And I still love it. 15 years in, I'm still going.
I mean, you look like an Army guy.
Yeah. So,
but I could also see you as a police officer.
You know what though? Possibly, but now that I'm like thinking about it, I'm glad I didn't go that way because Army, yes, of course, we have the chance of going to a deployment. And there's always an opportunity to go into a combat zone, but that's not an everyday thing, right? Whereas as law enforcement officers, you could be putting yourself in a lot of risk on a daily basis, and
especially NYPD.
Oh my God, NYPD! I looked into some of that stuff, and as a rookie, a police officer, you can be placed in a lot of like tough jobs, late night in some tough neighborhoods, and that's also scary. It's very scary.
I don't know the actual what the job entails, but TVs and movies that portrays it.
I mean, there was a lot of patrolling, undesirable times in a very, not so safe neighborhood. That already is like, oh, yeah. So that's kind of what led me to where I am now.
How long have you been in Army now?
So this is my 15th year.
15th year. Wow.
Yeah.
And you've been to different places, right?
Correct.
You're stationed at different places throughout.
Right. Yeah. So, obviously I didn't move around or didn't go to different places as often as a federal air marshal agent would. However, Army active duty members, we go to different duty stations, right? So I still kind of looked at that as a positive thing. And my brother was actually already in the Army at the time. So he obviously was a big factor in convincing me to kind of make that decision. But kind of long story short, my first duty station, not very good. I was in Fort Leonard, Missouri.
Oh.
Yes.
And so you don't have a choice, or do you?
You do have a bit of a say, but it's not much.
Okay.
And especially
Especially the
earlier in
first
your
one.
career, there's not much.
Okay.
So yes, I got stationed in Fort Leonard, Missouri.
How was that?
Oh God, it was awful. Oh my goodness. Tiny little town in the middle of nowhere. The closest big city is St. Louis. I think it was about over 100 miles away. Yes.
It's not that close.
Oh, no, not at all.
2 hours?
2 hours, roughly 2 hours. And then the other side, there's another town called Springfield. It's another smaller version, I guess, of a town. And that was like about 90 miles away. So yeah, none of these are like...
Not much.
No, not much. I did that for 2 years. And I thought at that time, I was like, man, this is awful. It's like, if you get stationed at an undesirable location, that's like multiple years already that you're kind of putting away. Right? So I was like, oh man, I got to do something to get out of here. Luckily, I had a chance to move my duty station like 2 years into it. And then I actually called up HRC, the Human Resources Command, and I talked to my assignment manager. And I said, hey, is there any job you can get me in Korea? Oh. Luckily, that worked out. Oh. So I ended up spending the next 2 years in Korea. Totally different life experience.
Yeah, I mean,
that was amazing.
From Missouri to... This is when you went to Daegu?
No, that time I was actually Humphreys.
Oh, yeah. So you were here before?
Yes. From 2014 to 16, I was at Humphreys before Humphreys was built up.
Oh.
When it was like much smaller.
Okay, yeah. So that's why you knew.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So I knew what it was like back then. So
it was even more country.
Yes, it was even more country. And because I was a single soldier at the time, I actually stayed in one of the barracks on post. Okay. I had a 1-bedroom apartment to myself, fully furnished. So it was not bad.
It's better than Missouri.
Oh, yes.
You probably went up to like Seoul every
other weekend. Yeah. Almost every weekend I was going up to Seoul and doing something. It's not like nowadays where I'm like, you know.
Were you like the de facto, the Korean guide for other soldiers?
Yes. Like back then, it was not... Korea was not on the map, right?
Right.
Korea was not a very desirable duty station. Not just the fact that Korea was not known, but also because of the fact that Korea had like very strict policy when it comes to units. Because our whole mission is to deter North Korea by being here. So they had like very strict rules, you know.
We still technically at war.
Yes, technically we're still at war. And then we had curfews as well. So after 1 a.m., you could not be outside. So there was a lot of these little, like, you know, annoying policies in place that made it very undesirable soldiers to want to come.
So that's not a common policy at other bases.
You don't really see that in other duty stations unless you go to like a combat zone. That's obviously a whole different story in a deployment setting. Okay. But like if you go to Europe, if you go to Germany, nope.
Okay, so it's more strict here.
Correct. Gotcha. Now, granted, a lot of those did go away recent years. So Korea has become a lot more attractive in terms of an assignment. But back then, it was not the case. So I did Korea, and then I went to Virginia for school. And by the way, military, at every rank, you have like education goals that you have to go through, and they put you to training school.
Okay.
And the next thing I had to do was a 9-month course in Virginia. So I did that. I was a student there. And then I got stationed in Texas for 3 years. And then within that time frame, I actually had 1 year time in Germany.
Oh. Nice.
So I did that. And then we went to Washington State. Okay. So I was in Joint Base Lewis McChord, which is about 30 minutes south of Seattle. Okay. I did that for about a year. And then 2021, we moved to Korea. And then that's when we got stationed in Daegu.
Gotcha.
So 21 to 23, we were in Daegu. And then 23 onwards, we've been in Humphreys.
So from Daegu, you came up to...
Correct. Summer of 23.
Yeah, so you've been in Korea for a while.
A long time. Yeah. By the time I'm done with this tour, it's going to be a total of 8 years. Wow. Throughout my career. So 16 years.
Almost Korean.
Almost Korean.
Almost Korean.
Yeah,
not
almost
quite.
Korean. So yeah, that's my story. Obviously I moved all over, since being in the Army. And it's been great.
No regrets.
No regrets. Not even one letter.
From banking to personal trainer to Army officer.
I did all kinds of stuff, and then by being in. So like if you look at like how I went in the States, I went from Virginia, East Side, Texas, Midwest, Washington, And then Korea.
just kept
I
going
kept moving west.
west all the way to east.
All the way to east. Yes. Yeah. And here I am. Here I am.
Yeah. So that's your journey, and that's how you ended up in Korea.
That's right. Yeah. And loving it so far. Still liking it.
This is technically, you've been here, you left, you came back, and now you're again on Korea. Wow.
And of course, like in that time frame, I had like small like business trips here and there that got me to different states and different countries too. But looking at the big pictures, those are the major places that I've been to. So, what about your journey after college?
After college, so when I graduated Maryland, I just realized I'm wearing the hat too. Go Terps!
I noticed.
Terrapins. Go Maryland. So again, I graduated a similar time as you, and we were in an economic funk, right? So
right.
I was interning for one of the big four. So in accounting, there's a big four company that are very well known. So I was interning for one of them, and they didn't hire any one of us. We had like 20 interns, and they didn't hire any one of us because they weren't in position to do so. So
rough times, man.
I probably could have gotten a job if I really wanted to, but I took that opportunity, and I was like, you know what? I want to. So when I was in college, I went study abroad in Korea for about a month. Yeah.
Oh wow! So you came to Korea even before the English teaching time.
Yeah, so that was my very first time coming back to Korea.
Wow. Okay.
And I had a blast. So there was a winter program at university.
Why wouldn't you have a blast?
Yeah. So a buddy of mine, we signed up together, and then it was a bunch of other people. Like, so the one semester was at Ewha University, which is it's a women's university. Everyone's like, "Oh, what are you doing there, you perp?" Like, that wasn't much. They had an international program, so we were our own little class. They just rented a classroom. So we kind of learned about Korean history, and they took us to like a field trip every day. So we went to like DMZ, went to like a LG factory one day. It was an amazing experience. So after that, I was like, I want to go back. I want to stay longer. So that, because I couldn't get a job right away, I was like, you know what? I'm going to just teach English. I'm going to go back. So the buddy that I went study abroad with, he graduated a year before me. And he was already out in Korea.
Really?
He was teaching English as well.
Okay.
So I was like, hey.
Did you know about it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you did? Okay.
So he graduated on time. I graduated a year late because of my accounting. I wanted to sit for a CPA exam, and I needed 5-year education to sit for a CPA exam.
Got it.
So I was like, I'm just going to knock it out now.
Sure.
So I stayed an extra year. So he was already out. I was like, hey, I'll see you there. So I applied for, it's called SMOE. I don't think they don't do it. Oh, well, SMOE stands for Seoul Metropolitan Office of Education. So basically, I taught in public school, not hagwon, like academy. I actually taught in one of the Seoul school, like public school.
Oh, nice.
So at that time, they were hiring a bunch of foreigners to teach. They wanted a native English teacher in every school, right? At least one. I got into that program, and they put like 400 of us in an orientation somewhere in Seoul for a week. So it was like all English teachers. So I got to meet a bunch of people. And funny enough, my wife, who was then a stranger, she was in that program too. And I bring this up because I'm in Korea because of my wife. But at that time, I didn't notice her. And then she noticed me. She was like, you could hear from her. But she's like, "Oh, I'm gonna avoid guys like this guy, like me." I was, I had my earrings, I had my chains, I had my hat like sideways.
Oh man.
I was in that phase. I was in that like F-boy phase, trying to be cool when I'm not.
I had my mindset.
So I'm, having a time of my life, like, meeting new people. I'm here to teach English, but like have fun. So. Long story short, that's what I did. So I taught English for a year. I met my wife maybe 6 months later at like a mutual birthday party of a friend. And then by then I maybe matured up a little.
6 months?
Yeah.
That's all it took?
Yeah. But I met her, and then we started talking. Long story short, we started dating. and Korea became such a special place. So I came back to the US, and then that's when I started my accounting career, I guess. Because my parents were like, "Hey, what are you doing in Korea?" I wanted to stay longer, but I was like, I need to kind of start my career because
Sure.
I found out I don't like teaching isn't really my passion. My wife, she's a teacher, so she stayed another year, and I came back. I found a job, and I kind of worked my steadily. Like I switched jobs here and there, and I moved up. And less right before we came to Korea, I built up. I was like a manager at a big firm. My wife, she was a teacher in that county over 10 years, so we were set. But there was always inkling for me to. We joke about going back to Korea. So after she came back, we got married, we had kids, we bought a house. We were living the American dream, right? Like we had a dog, we had a house. I'm working this six-figure salary job. We're comfortable, but I don't know. I just wanted something more. I wanted to do something. Even when I was in the US, I was like, oh, I want to like make content or like start another business on the side. I was always itching to do something else. Like
Gotcha.
the corporate job, it was great. It paid the bills. It like raised our family, right? So I actually like routinely I would apply for USA jobs in Korea, like whatever
Okay.
finance jobs they had.
Sure.
I would apply. I didn't have any luck. So it's just like a perfect storm of like my wife like becoming kind of dissatisfied with her job at the time, and I was like, hey, why don't you apply for like international school jobs in Korea? Maybe we can go that way because we don't want to just go to Korea without a job.
Sure.
So she was like, no, I'm not gonna get it. So I ended up like applying for her. Like,
No way, did you?
Yeah, because
Oh.
I guess I wanted to go more than her.
Okay.
It's just like that's where we met, and like it's a special place. And I have
Right.
a lot of families here too, so a lot of reasons to come to Korea. But so I started applying. I was like, hey, can I get your transcript? Like, can I get your teaching license? It's like, are you really applying? I'm like, yeah. So I applied to a bunch of international schools.
Oh, wow.
I didn't get any. I didn't have any luck. And then later I found out. I was like, wait, there's like military bases there. There has to be schools. Like, how
Oh,
do
wow, you thought
teachers?
about that.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So,
So cool.
so I found out there's like it's they don't hire teachers on USA Jobs. They have a separate portal.
Oh, okay.
So I ended up doing all the paperwork for her. We didn't hear back initially. So you can pick different locations on where you want to get placed. And we only picked Korea because that's where we wanted to go. But you would have better chance if you applied to like Germany and other places.
Makes sense.
But only Korea. And then, nothing happened for several months. I was like, okay, I guess it's not meant to be. So we actually planned to visit Korea like as a vacation that this past summer.
Yeah.
So we already booked our plane tickets. We booked our hotel in Korea. I had relatives from Korea going to visit us that summer. So all of these like things were planned. And then maybe like a couple months before that, she got an email saying, hey, are you available for an interview? So from that, I knew she was gonna ace the interview. She aced the interview, and then she got a tentative offer like a week later.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So and then from there, like, oh, this is actually happening. So everything just like moved very quickly from then on. And then that summer, I had to cancel our flight. I had to cancel our flight. I had to cancel our hotel. Our relatives who were visiting, they were gonna stay at our house. We sent our HH. So they were literally just sleeping on the floor.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we just had like mats, like
Sorry,
left the air mattress. I felt bad, but like we were gonna go on a cruise in Florida together. I had to cancel that.
Wow.
So like long story short, they were taken care of by like my parents and my brother who were there. But they stayed at an empty house.
Wow.
Yeah, I felt bad. Like we hung out for a few days. Like we have to go to Korea.
Yeah,
Uber
Eats all day.
I was like, we'll see you in Korea.
Oh wow.
So yeah, that's how we ended up in Korea.
That's crazy. Oh, I didn't know those details. That's kind of cool, man.
Yeah. So I mean, we were so happy. We were like, "Oh, this is really happening."
That's awesome. That is really cool. It must have been like really like very refreshing to come back and like kind of relive this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This time with a family, with kids.
Right.
And you can like tell them the stories too.
Yeah. So in doing so, and to support my wife's career, I had to give up mine because my job was related to U.S. federal work. So I had to actually give up my job. So I thought that I could find the job pretty easily, but that wasn't the case.
When you came here, you mean?
Yeah. Because my job, I guess my skills weren't like very transferable for like actual accounting job. Like I call myself a CPA. I do have a CPA license, but I didn't really do like accounting finance work. I did more U.S. federal contracting work. So I thought I could get a job on the base, but even the base right now, there's like a hiring freeze.
There's a hiring freeze,
so,
yes.
So slim pickings, and I'm doing a lot of little different things.
Right.
Obviously, we're doing this podcast.
Yes.
Or we're not monetized. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can make a career out of it.
We shall see.
But yeah, and I'll also, creating content.
Yeah.
I'm working as a substitute teacher on the base.
So that is available though, like that's a temporary type positions.
Right. Okay. So I'm doing that. Okay. I'm doing some part-time like acting gigs, like as a background extra.
And you've been busy. You've been keeping yourself busy with that.
Yeah. So I'm trying to see where all of these goes, right? Obviously, I don't know how sustainable can they be. Right now, I'm kind of calling them side quests, but who knows? Maybe it could become main quests.
Yeah. And oftentimes, a lot of things do happen that way. So
yeah.
But I suppose you'll never know unless you try it.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm trying different things, So yeah, here we are in Korea. Been a little over a year and a half now, and I'm loving it so far. And we're fortunate enough that my wife can financially support us while I'm still on my side quests.
Right.
Shout out to my wife, my hardworking wife.
Yeah,
let's go to work tomorrow morning while I'm doing this.
And I mean, the fundamentals are met, right? You take care of the family, and once you're good, and that's important. And the fact that you can do that and be able to pursue all these other stuff, I think that's great, man.
Yeah. So this is how we ended up in Korea, and that's somehow.
And folks, that's how Almost Korean started.
Yep. That's how Almost Korean started.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, we should definitely dive a little bit deeper into a lot of these different aspects of our lives throughout, the past however many years that kind of led up to this, in some of the other episodes.
For sure, yeah. I know, like, we kind of compressed our stories a little bit.
Right.
You can probably start, slowly unravel here and
there.
We don't want to give everything away all at once.
We'll unwrap those in future episodes.
Yeah, for sure. So,
but yeah, I think that wraps up today's episode.
Yeah. All right, that's it for today's episode.
Thank you for tuning in, guys.
See you on the next episode.
Peace.